ready for the disassembly. First thing, drain the coolant. So we're kind of doing herky-jerky and all potato-y, but that's what we got to work with. So we got a GoPro. So hey, now time for the fun to commence the kicking. Just one thing we're doing right now is, since they're getting ready to pull the distributor, mark the orientation of the vacuum canister and then where the distributor was last pulled out to at least get us into a ballpark. So planning for the future. Getting ready to pull the valve covers and the upper parts attached to the head right now. So we'll get you updated when we got another segment taken off the car. Okay, gonna call it a day. Buddy of mine that's helping me all the heavy lifting on this got called away, so we're kind of at an impasse right now. So I'm gonna have to pick up some cleaning supplies. But word to the wise, if you've never done an FE before, it's a different breed of engine. I'll tell you that straight off. So again, this is because the weird design that they've got where the top exhaust manifold bolt, when that gets left out in the weather for years or even decades, basically they get seized. I don't care what people will tell you about use XY fluid, this, that, and the other thing, or heat, or 15 ugga-duggas. It don't matter. I'm just gonna go the easier route and just pop the heads and put in a fresher set of heads and get things done. Plus, if you've never lifted an FE manifold, it's a life-altering experience. That mofo is heavy. It's no joke. It's probably 85 pounds of dead weight. So again, if you're planning on doing that, if you've got a cherry picker and if you're trying to do this thing solo, that's going to be the best way to not wreck your back. But this is where we got to. So we got the valve cover bolts pulled. I already got a replacement set of push rods that I'm going to use just because. I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of cycles in that, and the push rods I got, it was only like under 30 bucks delivered to my door overnighted. So I got a smoking deal on that. But this is where we're at. We've already got the exhaust manifolds freed up, so we'll leave the exhaust manifolds on, unbolt the heads, pop the top. And somebody's been in this engine at one time in its life, because there's aftermarket Velcro gaskets. So unfortunately, when they did the work, gasket wise, everything wise, it was fine. But like I said, it's just the intake manifolds. Whoever did the intake manifold portion, never bothered to have the heads checked for straightness and getting them milled, so ultimately caused that intake manifold to crack like nobody's business. And I've got a replacement set for them, and I've got, like I said, I've got a fresh set of heads. So this is where we're at. So again, both sides of the heads, the exhaust has been unbolted from the actual exhaust system itself. I've got some different replacement parts we're going to do, but overall pretty straightforward, just unbolting. And then one thing I would tell you too is make sure to try to keep your things as organized as possible. Murphy's Law, as I go to the pan that tipped over that had some of my stuff in there. But again, as far as parts and that, keep things centralized. There's the fan that come off of it, and here's the Herculean intake manifold. You want to save money on going to the gym? Get a FE manifold and you'll be styling. As you can see, here's the rocker arms, and I kept everything intact literally as we pulled it off. So that's what means the integrity, and goes back on the exact side it came off of. And one thing to be aware of is that with the head bolts, while they look the same, the heads oil the rocker shaft assembly. It doesn't get oiled through the push rod assembly like if you've got some small block Chevrolet or big block Chevrolet or some Mopars, how it oils through the push rods. This doesn't do that. They're solid push rods on it. As a matter of fact, I'll show you. But it's that bolt right there. It has a narrower shoulder, and so that's how the oil gets in. So just a heads up on that for word for the wise. So leave it all in one piece until you get time to clean it up, which I'm going to be doing. I'll get that GI'd out and make it look perfect. So
Pretty much straightforward work. Hang on a second, I'll show you that.
So here's the Ford heads, and it's just the standard like C2 AE head or C1 AE head. I mean, nothing special about it. 202, 150. The tops of the valves actually look pretty decent and not in bad shape. But like I said, I've got a reconditioned set of I beg your pardon, CHAE heads they're going to put on. Going back to the oiling, so see how the rocker studs base looks different. That's the one that actually oils your assembly. So keep your parts organized and don't swap that, because otherwise you will not get oiling, and you'll end up, when you fire it up, you'll have a dry head and you'll see it and people freak out. Another thing too is the rocker shafts. Once they get them cleaned up, you'll see they have to be mounted basically upside down for the oiling to take place. And then there's my engine bay. Wasn't too bad, didn't have too much gack in there. Lifters move really good, so nothing stuck there. And you know, gosh, I couldn't even tell you how many miles are really on this thing. It just looks like heck. But hopefully I'll get some actual action shots tomorrow pulling ahead, so in case you haven't done this work before, at least you can kind of get an idea what you're in for. But be prepared for some heavy lifting. That's the one thing I got to tell you. So you're going to get a workout. All right, peeps, we'll see you tomorrow.